Hello, it is I. Now, luxurious car manufacturers are known for including very unnecessary features and gadgets into their cars, which provide no use whatsoever. I mean, Rolls-Royce have starlit headliners, Teslas have celebration mode, and the Bentley Bentayga has a clock which is almost worth more than the car itself. I mean, why? But some of these luxury car manufacturers include features which may sound useless, which actually prove to be pretty useful. So from soft closing bonnets, to adjustable window tints, all the way to seatbelt airbags, here are 10 luxury car features which just make sense. Now before getting into this video, do you notice anything different? Yep, the background light, hey, my voice. The background lights are now orange, because orange you meant to press the like button. Yeah, that one was slick, wasn't? No, it wasn't. 4,000 likes is the target as per usual. Liking the video is free and it helps out so much more than you can imagine. And seeing as over half of you guys watching right now have not subscribed, do consider subscribing to the channel down below. We're on the road to 200k and I love having new faces here on the channel. Thank you very much, and now let's get to the first car, which is the Aston Martin DB11. Now Aston Martins are like the Rolls-Royce of Grand Touring supercars. They're beautiful, elegant, smooth, comfortable, classy and quote-unquote British. And just like a Rolls-Royce, Aston Martin include luxurious features which nobody asks for, which are frankly pretty useless as well. Like a leather luggage set, a crystal engine start button, and even a saddlebag for the rear passengers of a DBX. But there's one luxurious feature on the DB11 which may sound very unnecessarily expensive, but it's actually pretty surprisingly useful. Now soft close mechanisms on cars are usually found on the doors, but the DB11 doesn't only have soft closing doors, but also a soft closing bonnet, meaning you can gently put down the bonnet of your car and the mechanism comes to latch it into place, which is genius, as when you normally shut a car's bonnet or hood, you have to push it down afterwards. So this mechanism takes that work away from you, meaning you don't have to drop your hood from 3 feet to shut the bonnet. Very smart thinking, Aston Martin. The Rolls-Royce Wraith. Going from the Rolls-Royce of supercars to the Rolls-Royce of cars. Anyways, the Wraith is Rolls-Royce's 2-door luxury coupe, introduced in 2013. And with the Wraith being a Rolls-Royce, it of course featured backward opening doors, known as suicide doors, or as Rolls-Royce call them, coach doors. Now suicide doors may seem like a flex, but they're actually pretty useful, as let's say you park your car on the side of the road and you open the door fully. On an ordinary car with ordinary doors, if a driving car clips the door, then the whole door would rip apart, and it would be a very expensive repair. Whereas on a Rolls-Royce with suicide doors, if a car clips the door, then it would just shut it. So there would be a dent on the door, but it's a whole lot better than having the door literally come off. And also with these Rolls-Royces, the driver can close both doors automatically with a button, meaning if you have one of those annoying mates who leaves the door wide open when they get out, instead of you having to step outside the car to close it, you can close it while sitting inside of your car, which is just genius. Every car needs this. The Audi e-Tron. Now the Audi e-Tron is Audi's all-electric luxury SUV, which is packed full of very futuristic quirks and features, including cameras for door mirrors. Yep, this Audi has virtual exterior door mirrors. Now this may sound expensive and useless, but it has 3 perks. Number 1, it reduces aerodynamic coefficient drag by up to 10%, meaning you get better range of fuel economy, thus saving you money in the long run. Number 2, it won't get anywhere near as dirty as ordinary door mirrors, which are prone to water droplets making onto the mirror itself, and even spiders making spider webs, which is very annoying. And number 3, they just look so much nicer than conventional mirrors. Now of course, a camera mirror breaking is going to be much more expensive and harder to fix than a standard door mirror, but you can say the same thing about manual window winders and electric ones. Of course one has a more complex system than the other, but we all know which one's more convenient. And it's an innovation that other car manufacturers are adopting too, like McLaren with a Speedtail, Lexus with their ES, and even Honda with their new electric city car, the E. So hopefully we see this on much more cars in the following years to come. The Mercedes S-Class. Now when you want to smell nice, you spray cologne. When your bathroom is smelling of the dutty, you spray Febreze. So why is it that when you want your car to smell nice, you hang up a tree on the mirror? Yeah, it makes 0 sense. But Mercedes thought of a genius way of keeping your car smelling nice for a long time, which is by this perfume dispenser which dispenses fragrance whilst you're driving, keeping your car smelling like the perfume shop in London Stansted Airport. Very nice. The Tesla Model X. Now the Model X being a Tesla is packed full of so many quirky features, which you may not find on many other cars, including these gull wing doors, falcon doors, they're called falcon doors, which are basically gull wing doors, but the roof section splits to make the door more flexible. Now you might be thinking that these falcon doors are useless. Elon Musk just added that so that rappers could flex the doors in their rap songs, and make owning a Tesla look like a status symbol. And you might be right about that, but the Tesla Falcon doors are actually more useful than you think. As in tight spaces, the door scans the surrounding area and adjusts how it opens to ensure that it doesn't hit the car or the wall that's to the side of the car, which is very intelligent. And on top of that, these doors are great for people who feel claustrophobic, as when they open it feels like you're already outside of the car. And it's especially helpful for tall people who bang their head whenever they step outside of short cars. So hopefully these Falcon doors catch on and they make their way onto more consumer cars in the future. The C8 Chevrolet Corvette. Now you can argue that the Corvette isn't a luxury car, but they're over 100 grand in the UK, so they're luxurious to us. Anyway, some modern American cars have really cool features which we don't really see in European cars. For example, Chevys have a hidden compartment behind the infotainment screen, the Chrysler Pacifica minivan has built-in CCTV to keep an eye on your passengers, and the C8 Corvette, well, that has a rear view mirror that can be switched to a camera to give you a better, clearer view of what's behind you, which is very nice. Honestly, I don't know why more cars don't have these rear view mirror camera things. They are so much better than conventional mirrors, which lets you see nothing through the rear windows if you have passengers. So to any car manufacturers out there, normalize these mirrors please, they are so useful. The McLaren GT. Now McLaren was founded in 1963 as a racing team who made Formula 1 cars. Then over time they started taming their cars, from hypercars to supercars to sports cars all the way to Grand Tourers, like the McLaren GT from 2019. A lot of people didn't know how to feel about the GT as it wasn't a very track focused car, and it did not feel like a supercar, but it was a very good daily driver, as it had good ground clearance, a spacious cabin, and a boot big enough to accommodate some golf clubs. Very practical. But the craziest feature about the GT was its panoramic roof, which is adjustable. Yep, you could dim or brighten the tint on the roof of this car. How mad is that? This feature would be especially useful for public figures, like celebrities who want to black out the windows when there's paparazzi nearby, and then untint the glass when they want some daylight. And if you get pulled over by the police for having tints too dark, then you could just untint the glass to make the police officer feel like they stopped you for no reason. Hey, but don't try that in the USA. The Lamborghini Urus. Now the Urus is a very Marmite car. You either love it or hate it. A lot of people joke about the car being an Audi RS-Q8 deep down, but that's not all that bad, as some of the Audi features in the Urus are pretty cool and very useful. Like the 360-degree camera, which gives you a 3D view of your car to make parking easier. If every car had this, then you wouldn't even need to have windows. The Lexus LFA. Now the Lexus LFA, despite being legendary, is quite an unusual car if you think about it. I mean, it's a supercar made by Lexus. It has a Toyota engine that's tuned by Yamaha. It sounds like what I'd expect a spaceship to sound like, and it's stupendously expensive despite being a product from Japan. But one of its most unusual features were its seatbelts, which were padded, making it very comfortable for the driver and passenger. And it's not just comfortable to put on, but it's safer too than a conventional seatbelt. The reason it's padded is not for comfort, it's to accommodate an airbag. Yep, this Lexus has a built-in airbag into the seatbelt. Who would have thought that was possible? Now you might think that this will be painful, but it really isn't, as when the seatbelt airbag deploys, it spreads the shock load over a wider area of the driver and passenger's chests, reducing the pain and making the car a whole load safer, as the most injury prone parts due to seatbelts are fractured ribs, chest, sternum and shoulders. So this genius seatbelt design from Lexus would help to prevent that. So hopefully more manufacturers take inspiration from Lexus to include seatbelt airbags in their future cars to come. The Range Rover Evoque. Now picture this, you're driving a car in a place you're not very familiar with, so you're relying on the sat-nav to guide your way through this unfamiliar territory. Meanwhile, your passenger Robbie is desperate to watch the final match of the Premier League, to see if Arsenal get relegated into the Championship, but there's only one screen in the car, meaning you can only watch one thing or the other. If only you could watch two things at the same time, so you can navigate yourself out of the village and Robbie can watch the football. Well, Range Rover made this a reality, as with their Evoque, the Vogue, the Sport and pretty much every modern car of their lineup, they introduced a dual view screen, where the driver sees one thing on the screen whilst the passenger sees a different thing on the same screen. How mad is that? And it's not just found on Range Rovers, as Jaguars like the XA also have this feature, as they are of course joint manufacturers. So fingers crossed that this makes its way onto more consumer cars in the near future. That's it. Shut up. That's the end of the video now. Hope you lot did enjoy. If you didn't, then that's a bit sad. If you want to see more videos just like this one, then make sure to clap the like button down below and join the family down below as well. We are trying to hit 200k by the end of this year, so any help would be greatly appreciated. Also, leave a comment down below. It helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll try and get to as many of you people as I can. Thank you very much, and I'll catch up with you guys very soon. Until next time, have a good one, guys. Stay safe, stay inside. Till next time. Cheers.
My dinero's what I'm out to get. Sombrero, I get hat and then I'm out again. Got an A1 Chica with a drive like a 3 litre. That's what she needs D for, like the outfit.